Hello, today is Wednesday and I'm going to try and get through some of my, I don't even know if you can call them long-standing whips. I think some of them are actually UFOs or unfinished objects. If you are new here, my name is Shannon. I am a knitter and a crocheter based in Scotland. If you want to see more, then be sure to give me a like and subscribe so then you get updated. But for today's video, I have a pile here. A lot of these, I think some of them I literally just need to cast off. Some of them I ran out of yarn and now I've got yarn. And some of them I don't know. They just got abandoned. I don't know why. But we are going to try and get through as much of this in, I'm going to set myself a time of 24 hours. And the way I'm going to do it is, oh, pardon me, sorry, just had coffee. I will have stuff I need to do today other than knitting, and tomorrow as well. So I'm trying to get the camera relatively stable. So because of that, I'm going to set myself a timer of 24 hours, and every time I stop, I'll just pause the timer. So it'd be 24 hours in total, not non-stop. It also means I can have a break, because I think if I try to knit and crochet, I actually don't know if there's any crochet. I think it's all knitting. If I try to knit for 24 hours straight with no break, that's going to cause havoc. So we're not going to do that. But first thing I'm going to work on is, I think this. This is a Musselburgh hat, which, see if I can pop this down. There we go, we've got you seated now. This is a Musselburgh hat, which for the most part is finished. All I need to do, take it off the needles. Literally all I need to do is put some yarn on a needle, thread it through, tighten it up and weave in the end. And then it will need to be blocked. I've got some other things that need blocking. I was thinking about putting them in this video and then decided not to do that because, I mean, I could be wrong. I wasn't sure if it would be that interesting because I've got a lot of blocking to do. So this will be my first thing to get done. And then I'm going to move on to this, which is a sock. And I only need to do the foot. So I'm going to put on some YouTube. I'm going to drink my coffee. I'm going to get this off the needles. I will need to put my glasses back on. Simply just, it would be too much going too long without my glasses. So there will be a little bit for glare. I'm sorry, I can't do much about that. But anyway, without further ado, let's finish this Musselburgh hat. So I finished the first one. There really wasn't much to that. I literally just had to take it off the needles and flip it so that it's actually a hat rather than a tube. It needs a block, but I will do that another time. So first one done. This is a Musselburgh hat by Ysolda Teague. Don't know where, I have like a little pile I think of like finished objects. I'm just gonna pop that down. I will have to go through and sort out needles. I think I'll do that off camera, just because, and I'll stop the timer, because if I don't do it now, I will forget about it, and then I'm just gonna have a bunch of stuff. Or even if I just put it in piles so that later I can put it away. Maybe I'll do that. So I'm gonna sort out, as I say, I'm gonna sort out what's the rest in here. It's literally just the rest of my yarn and a project bag. So pop that down, I think, on the table. Needles. So, oops, forgot to pause the timer. We are currently at just gone 5 minutes. So, I'm gonna pop this back on charge because it's a little bit low on battery. So, next one is a pair of socks, and I have finished one sock. This is Farmer's Daughter Fibres sock squad from 2 years ago. And I will double check, I'll have a look at the, oh, this is tangled, what are we doing? At the other sock, but I am like 95% certain. Why is everything tangled? Oh my gosh, right. 95% sure that I literally just have the foot to do on this one. So I am going to just double check against the sock and then do the toe, and then that's 2 down, which makes me very happy. And then I'll figure out which one I want to do next. I think probably my back-to-back top, because I don't need to wind any yarn for that. So, sock number 2. Hello, so I have finished the socks. Oh, I haven't paused my timer. Right, I finished the socks. I've woven in the ends, so finished. I could block them. I don't tend to block my socks because I'm lazy. But socks finished. Just gonna put them on my little pile over there. I will need to sort out the yarn. I still have quite a bit left. That's the main colour. And then the contrast. So still quite a bit left. So I will get that put in. There's like a little box. I think maybe I'll put my yarn leftovers in that. And then obviously my needles need to go away. As far as time is going, yeah, we haven't even hit an hour yet, and I finished 2, so very happy about that. I think next one I'm gonna go for is this the right one? Yes, this is my back-to-back tee by Joan Ho. I need to figure out what needles I had and pop them on, because currently there's no needles on this, and I need to finish the peplum and the ties and then sort out all the ends. I have more of the yarn, so we can get that sorted, because that's why this went on the back burner. So I'm going to sort out, put all of this in the piles, figure out what size needle I need, go get that size needle, and then finish this. I do need the pattern, but I have my Knit Companion app on. I'm actually recording on my phone. This is an old phone that it's slow, but it still functions, and I still need it for some apps. So I'm using this as my timer and my pattern. So, which seems to be working quite well. So without further ado, I'm going to sort this out, find the right needle tips, and get going on this one. I'm just watching some YouTube at the moment, which I am enjoying, and I think I need another coffee. I've just looked at the pattern, and it turns out that I was clever. I wrote down the needle size that I used. However, they're on another project, so I'm gonna have to steal temporarily from this one and put needle stoppers on, or like cord stoppers. Not the end of the world. Slightly annoying, but yeah, I'm using 3.5mm, which both of my sets of 3mm needles, not 3mm, 3.5, are being used in other projects. So yes, but in theory, I'm hoping this shouldn't take too much longer. So we are on a roll today. I am quite impressed. I swear my hair is getting messier. I'm not running around or anything, but I don't know. I think it's a bad hair day, but this is now off the needles. I have woven in all the ends other than this one, just in case I need it for anything. I don't think I will, but just because I've got to put the strap through, I feel better having this out until the end. I haven't cut my ends. I've woven them in. I've not cut them yet because I like to block it first and then cut the ends, because sometimes if you cut it too close and then it grows, you get like little bits that kind of stick out and things like that. So I just find it easier to cut the ends after. So yes, we are going quite, I keep sometimes forgetting to pause or restart my timer. So it's going to be roughly 24 hours. It might not be exact because I have the memory of a goldfish, but we are at, still left on the clock, 21 hours and 33 minutes. So, what, 2.5 hours? And I finished a sock. I finished my Musselburgh, and I'm about to start the I-cord on this. Now, the strap is just a really long I-cord, which is not necessarily what I find the most interesting, but I want to get some stuff off the needles and done, and seeing in front of me, you know, yarn from projects that are left over in a little box, and then my empty project bags, my needles that I need to sort, just, it's given me that dopamine hit I think I needed. So I will get started on the I-cord, and then I will probably record again when I've finished the I-cord and I'm weaving in ends. Hello, a little bit of a background change, but I have finished and ends woven in my back-to-back top. This is the main top portion, and then I have my really long I-cord, which did not take as long to knit as I thought it would, so that is good. One end is looking a little bit funky, but it does still need to be blocked. So I hope that helps kind of even out the stitches. So that's another one mostly finished. I will need to do like a marathon blocking session. I might try and do some blocking tomorrow. So that's that one done. Next one is my Lily sheer top by Irene, and I was taking part in this as for a test knit. However, I ran out of yarn, and so I've got some. This is technically the wrong one. This is the Surrey instead of the mohair, and I mean this could end terribly, but I'm going to try my luck because I mean it's the same colour. Like, it's not even focusing. I think my camera might be a little bit dirty, but so we're going to try and see if it works. If I need to rip it back, I'll rip it back, but I guess. So this is the next one. I'm really hoping that this will block because it looks really short right now. I followed the pattern. It just looks really short. But I do know that mohair can grow, so we'll see. So yes, sleeves on this, but before I do that, I need to go wind some yarn. I don't know if I will record me winding yarn. I don't know. I also don't know how much I'll get, like, footage of this. Depends how much I get done tonight. Just because it's now no longer just me at home because it's the evening. So yes, we're going to go get started on this. I also need to put needles back on this. I remember what needles they are. They're 3.5mm again. Seems to be a very common size for me. So I need to pop those back on. And then hopefully, once this is finished, I can reclaim this cable. It's my longest slicker cable. And I've been getting to the point where I've been using really short cables. And it's really driving me nuts. So I need to untangle this as well. But yes, I really want to reclaim this cable. So we're going to go wind up some yarn and then hopefully finish this top. Hello, today is Thursday. It is, I think, just before 9 o'clock. Yeah, it's about to be 9 o'clock on Thursday morning. I did not get as much done yesterday as I thought. I was like, oh yeah, 24 hours, I'll do most of it today. This is where we're at. So just under 17 hours. Sorry, I probably sound a bit sick. I'm not. I just, at the moment, I always wake up with a really dry throat. So that's why my voice sounds a bit funny. But in the sense of projects, we are getting along quite nicely. I finished one sleeve yesterday, and if I can show it, I did put a lifeline in just in case I need to put it back, but to be perfectly honest, looking at it, I really don't care. That it's alpaca rather than mohair. It feels maybe a little bit thicker just at that bit when I touch it, but I really don't care all that much. I don't care enough to rip it back, so I think we're just going to go with it, to be honest. I'll also as well block it and see what happens with this situation, because that's quite short, and I know I knit it to what was recommended in the pattern, but it's just a little bit short for my liking. So if it grows, it'll be fine, but if it doesn't, I might need to rip back and re-knit the bottom and just add some rows, which would be quite annoying. So I don't think I'll weave that end in just yet. The rest of it I can weave in, but just not the bottom hem, unless I've already done that, which if that's the case, that's really not helpful. Yeah, looks like I possibly did. I will have a look at that and figure that out, but yes, this is where we're going. So I've got one more sleeve to finish, and then the other ends to weave in, and then it just needs blocking. I have a lot of stuff that needs blocking. So yeah, I'm gonna go make myself coffee because this throat is just not it. Make myself a hot drink and work on this. I have finished this now. We have, if I can hold it up, I think it's that way. 2 sleeves. It is looking really short. So yeah, I'm gonna see how much it grows. But I may have to go back and sort that, because if it's too short, I won't wear it. But it is done. I have decided to just leave it. I think you can see a little bit that it's a different, but I'm not that bothered by it, so I'm just going to keep it as it is, because I really don't care that much. So that one is finished and needs a block on the massive blocking pile that is currently behind the camera. As far as time goes, this is a rather long way, but still got over 15 hours left. Yeah, 15 and a half. I don't think I needed a full 24 hours. But the next one that we are going to try and get, I don't even know if I'll get it finished, but like try and get as much done as possible, are these socks. is the first sock, so it is one of those things. If it's not just one sock, you know, there is two. Oops. Runaway yarn. But yes. Sock. So this is what I'm going to start working on next, because as much of this I can get done, the better. I don't think I need too many sock whips on the go, to be perfectly honest. And even though this is vanilla, I don't take it out the house because, as you can see, it's on DPNs. And I'm always worried I'm going to lose my stitches, like even just now. I'm worried I'm going to lose my stitches. So it doesn't leave the house. The yarn is stunning. This is what it looks like before I knit up with it. This is it Dye Happy? No. Darn It, New Zealand, that I picked up years ago. They don't actually dye yarn anymore, so, which is a shame. But this is their like Passionfruit sock yarn. So I'm gonna go do some work on that. I'm just watching some more YouTube. I didn't do any knitting this morning because I was getting some work done. My last assessment for one of my modules is due on Sunday, so I needed to do some of that and just general like study things. So, but yeah, do some knitting on this. Might work on this until I have to go to orchestra. Oh, I'm glad to eat dinner and then go to orchestra. So yes, back to sock knitting. Hello, today is Friday. It's actually the afternoon now. I did some knitting this morning. I'll show you where I am. Grab the timer. Probably should pause it because I'm actually not knitting right now. But we've still got over 12 hours left. I was expecting all of this to take so much longer than it did. But I have finished a sock. Trying to do this one-handed. I really need to get like a tripod. Hold on. I had to pause it because I just yeah, no, I couldn't do it one-handed, but I have finished a sock. Here we go. That progress keeper, it's a paw print. But that's where I started when I started finishing these. So I've done an entire foot in, I think it was about 2 or 3 hours. So not bad. So I'm about to cast on. I've just realised I'm moving around and I'm pretty sure I put my needles down. I have to find those, but I'm going to cast on the second one and we'll see how long that takes. Hello, so today is Sunday. Apparently I completely forgot to record yesterday. I'll show you how much time I have on the timer. Don't know how you can see that. There we go. So just over 3 hours left. When I started this, I guess, challenge, I didn't think that I would be recording from Wednesday to Sunday. It's like 24 hours, surely, you know, I'll be done by Friday. Not really, but I'll show you what I've done. I think I showed this, but I finished one sock and then I started the second one. More than just started. I'm on the foot of the second one. See if I can show that. So we are getting there. If I happen to, oh, that looks scary. There we go. If I happen to finish, oh, hold on. I've dropped some stitches. Oh, use a crochet hook for that one. It laddered down. I'll fix that. If I happen to finish these before the 3 hours is up, I'll just start working on my test knit, because I will have finished all of my long-standing whips that I have with me. So I'm gonna work some more on this, try not to lose any more stitches in the process. I should stop throwing this around. And then we will see how much at the end I managed to get done. Sorry, I'm squinting and also it's like cutting off the top of my head. My window is right there. This is the best place that I can record today, so it is what it is. I have just finished, put them up, these socks, so they are both done now. I'll show you how much time I have on the timer. So about 50 minutes, but all of my long-standing whips are done. So what I'm going to do is, why am I out of breath? Work some more on my test knit because, well, I need to work on something, and it'd be quite good to see how much I get done in that time. So that's what I'm going to go do now. Hello, I have now completed 24 hours. I spent the last like 50 minutes working on this. This is a test knit for Kai Do You Knit, and I'll try and show you how much I got done. Where the cat is, so not tons, but it's something. And I have laid out everything, so I emptied all the project bags. I will need to sort all this stuff, but I'm going to flip the camera around and I will show you. Okay, so my coffee table is looking rather full. I had, just before I finished this challenge, completed another project which I hadn't sorted out, taken stuff out of project bags, that sort of thing, so I emptied those as well. We'll start over here. So this is, within this video, everything that I finished. There's the 2 tops, 2 pairs of socks and a hat. This in here, this is all of the yarn that's left over. You can see that's from a project that I finished before the video started. So that, I'm either going to sort that and put it away in like the little boxes I have under my bed, or I'll just leave it in this. I have not decided yet. There's a lot of needles and cables, so I'm going to have to go through and sort these. Some of these are interchangeable, so I need to take the needle tips off and pop them away. Those are the DPNs for the socks that I just finished. Notion tins, so most of these are like stitch markers. That, I don't normally like plastic needles, but I, sometime last year, went on a trip to Edinburgh for the day and left my needles, like my tapestry needles, at home, and I got to a point in the project where I needed to put stitches on hold, and I didn't want to not be able to knit on the train, so I bought those. So those need to come out of the packaging and go away properly. And then these are all project bags. I can't even remember how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, I think there's about 5 there. So yes, it is nice to have those all done. That's a lot in 24 hours. As I said, I did not knit for 24 hours non-stop. That would just be not feasible. So this is broken up from Wednesday to Sunday. It's now Sunday afternoon, but just after 4 o'clock. And some of these projects, like for example the hat, there was no knitting that needed to be done. It was just ends and like casting off. that pair of socks there, the shorties, I only needed to do one toe, and so it looks like a lot, because it is, but also a lot of that was already completed. So yes, I am now going to organise this lot and then go back to working on test knits. I've got the one I was working on before, but I also need to start another one, so I need to cast that on, well, check my gauge and then cast on. So yeah, that is the end of my how much can I get finished in 24 hours challenge. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like so that I know that you like this sort of stuff. Give me a follow so that you get updated when I post. I say give me a follow. Subscribe. On YouTube it's called subscribing. So that you get updated when I post a new video. I should at one point, Aussie, I should at one point have a podcast. In theory, I should have a podcast up before this video goes up. So hopefully, fingers crossed, tomorrow's podcast day, so we'll get that done. But yes, thank you for joining me. And if you were working on a project at the same time as watching this, let me know what you were working on, because I love hearing what people are knitting on or crocheting or sewing or whatever crafting you like to do. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you for the next one.